$15. That is what a full plate of grilled fish, rice, and fresh fruit costs at a local market in Samoa, served on the water, under a tree, by someone who caught the fish that morning. $15. In a place that most people assume is entirely out of reach financially. The Pacific Islands carry a reputation as one of the most expensive travel regions in the world. And for some islands in the region, that reputation is accurate. Bora Bora, the Maldives equivalent of the Pacific, has overwater bungalows that start at several $100s per night. The Cook Islands and New Caledonia run at prices that rival Australia and New Zealand. But the Pacific is vast, and within it are islands and groups that operate at a completely different price point. Accessible, extraordinary, and genuinely achievable at $50 a day for a traveler willing to do things the local way. Here is the breakdown. Fiji is the most visited Pacific Island nation and also the one with the widest range of budget options. The resort islands, Bora Bora-style private island retreats with overwater bungalows, represent one version of Fiji. The budget version is equally real and far more common among independent travelers. The Yasawa Islands, a chain of volcanic islands in the northwest of the Fiji group, have a well-established backpacker circuit of small locally owned guest houses called Bure accommodation, traditional thatched bungalows, where a private room with meals included runs $40 to $60 per night per person. The meals included structure is important. Food costs in the Yasawas are effectively zero on top of accommodation, which means the daily total stays manageable. Viti Levu, the main island, has hostels in the Nadi and Suva areas for $20 to $35 per night. Local market food, cassava, taro, roti, fresh fruit, runs $2 to $4 per meal. Fiji is achievable at $50 a day on the main island and tight but possible in the Yasawas, depending on the specific guest house. Samoa, independent Samoa, not American Samoa, is where the $50 budget opens up most comfortably, and the experience is arguably the most authentic of any island on this list. Samoa receives relatively few tourists compared to Fiji or Hawaii, which means prices are set primarily for locals rather than visitors. Fail accommodation, the traditional open-sided Samoan sleeping structure, typically on a beach, runs $15 to $30 per night, including breakfast and dinner at many properties. This is a genuinely extraordinary experience. Sleeping literally on the beach under a thatched roof, open to the sea breeze, surrounded by one of the most beautiful coastlines in the Pacific. Meals at local markets and small restaurants run $3 to $6. The famous Tusua Ocean Trench, a stunning natural swimming hole connected to the ocean, costs around $5 to enter. Samoa as a whole runs $25 to $45 per day, well under the $50 ceiling. Vanuatu is a chain of over 80 islands in the Southwest Pacific, most of them volcanic, with one of the most culturally diverse populations on Earth. Over 100 distinct languages are spoken across the archipelago. Port Vila on the main island of Ifate has backpacker accommodation for $15 to $25 per night. Local market meals, lap lap, the traditional dish of grated root vegetables wrapped in banana leaves and cooked in an earth oven, costs $2 to $4. Day trips to Meili Cascades, a series of tiered waterfalls just outside the capital, cost around $10 to $15, including transport. The islands north of Ifate, including Tanna, famous for its highly accessible active volcano Mount Yasur where visitors stand on the crater rim, require internal flights that add cost, typically $40 to $80 each way. Overall daily costs in Vanuatu run $35 to $55 depending heavily on which islands are visited. Tonga is small, relatively unvisited, and genuinely affordable by Pacific standards. The main island group of Tonga Tapu has guest house accommodation for $20 to $35 per night. Local food at markets runs $2 to $4 per meal. The main draw for many visitors, swimming with humpback whales which pass through Tongan waters between July and October, is an extraordinary and somewhat pricey experience at around $100 to $150 per half-day tour. But it is a once-in-a-lifetime encounter that many travelers save specifically for. Outside of whale swimming, Tonga runs $30 to $45 per day. Solomon Islands is the most off-the-beaten-path destination on this list, and also the most logistically complex. Infrastructure is limited. Inter-island travel is by small plane or boat, and traveler numbers are very low. Guest house accommodation runs $20 to $40 per night. The rewards: World War II, wreck diving among some of the most historically significant and marine life-rich wrecks in the world, traditional village culture with very limited tourist infrastructure, and landscapes of extraordinary beauty are significant. Daily costs run $40 to $65, depending heavily on transport between islands. The Pacific-wide budget strategies are distinct from other regions. Accommodation that includes meals, common across Samoa, Fiji's outer islands, and Vanuatu guest houses, is almost always better value than paying separately. Internal flights are the biggest cost variable across the region and warrant careful planning. Booking in advance and limiting island hops to the most important ones significantly reduces total trip cost. Traveling outside the Australian and New Zealand school holiday periods, roughly July, September to October and December to January, cuts accommodation prices on most islands by 20 to 30%, since the Pacific's primary tourist market is regional rather than global. The verdict on $50 a day across the Pacific. Very comfortable in Samoa, achievable in Fiji's main island and Vanuatu, tight but possible in Tonga, and requiring a slightly higher ceiling in the Solomon Islands. The Pacific is never going to be Southeast Asia in terms of raw budget numbers. The isolation, the small populations, and the import-dependent economies mean prices have a natural floor that does not exist in mainland regions. But the experience it offers, in terms of natural beauty, cultural authenticity, and the feeling of genuine remoteness, is unlike anywhere else on Earth. Travel is best when it is both affordable and safe. Always research current conditions, trust instincts on the ground, and check the official government travel advisory from your home country alongside any visa or entry requirements before booking. Both can change frequently.